Boys who come to C Company of the Army Apprentices College, Chepstow, are trained in one of three trades: fitter Royal Engineers, fitter machinist and draftsman. The trade training takes place during the 2 years the boys are at the college. The draftsmen are selected from the more academically qualified boys, and only a small number are trained out of each intake. The students start their trade training with a session of bench fitting, where the use of hand tools and workshop machinery is taught. Marking out on the surface plate and filing to great accuracy. The fitter machinists are selected from volunteers after the boys have had a session on lathe work. Their Army Class 2 trade test is recognised as being equivalent to the Part 2 City and Guild certificate. As with the draftsmen, only a small number are selected for this training. When the boys go into the classroom, the student-teacher ratio is very good. The normal number of students in a class is 8.
Once they're engaged, do not move forward from setting the screen and
The trade training is broken down into phases, usually of 3 weeks duration. The training is varied and comprehensive. Petrol and diesel engines are covered, as is the maintenance and repair of diesel fuel injection equipment. Due to the specialisation of fuel injection equipment, this subject is often covered, to a lesser degree, by garage trained mechanics. Platoon commanders keep in contact with their soldiers at all times, advising them on welfare, leave and pay problems. Modern plant equipment makes extensive use of hydraulic power, so this important subject is a must. Having learned about the component systems of equipment, the students work on the complete machines. An important responsibility of the Royal Engineers is water supply. The students repair, operate and monitor the performance of water pumps. At Chepstow, there's always plenty of water around. Where possible, trade training is integrated with project work. Here, students are improving the facilities at the college sailing club, sailing being only one of the 60-odd free hobbies and sports available at the college. As well as using the up-to-date high cycle equipment, more traditional methods are also used. A bit more involved than changing a wheel on the family car. Now they can repair them, they learn to drive them. A track vehicle driving license is required before a student can qualify as a fitter Royal Engineers. A qualified testing officer takes them on this test. Another requirement for all fitters is an ordinary driving license. The driving training is contracted out to civilian driving schools, and the driving test is supervised by a military qualified testing officer, so there is no waiting for a test. The driving test is identical to the Ministry of Transport driving test, with emergency stops, reversing and so on. Trade examinations, however, are set by outside agencies, such as the City and Guilds Institute and the Royal School of Military Engineering at Chatham. are responsible for the Army's power supply. The college has its own power station, which can, if required, supply the camp with electrical power. Here, 2 generators are being readied for running in parallel. The training staff of C Company is both civilian and military. The majority of the civilian instructors are ex-servicemen who have a total of over 250 years military service between them. The students also spend some time on allied trade training, such as blacksmithing, sheet metal work, and welding. One of the most popular trade training phases is operating wheeled plant machines. On completion of his 2 years training, an Army apprentice should leave C Company, taking with him an Army Class 2 trade, a Part 1 and Part 2 City and Guild certificates, and 2 driving licenses, and should be set for a fine career in the Army.